Hi, I'm Opogo community expert Jasmin Choudhury, and I'm here to share a few tips and guidance on those difficult observations. So you've had that difficult observation and it hurts, but let me tell you, most outstanding teachers have had one bad observation somewhere in their career, and if they're willing to share it with you, that shows that they're an outstanding practitioner, because we deal with humans all the time and sometimes things just go wrong. It does hurt and it is overwhelming, but it can be turned around. As a practitioner, don't give up. We teachers need to be not wallflowers, we need to be weeds, resilient and tough. Like weeds, we should be able to teach anywhere. So have a think about that difficult observation and take time out, take a step back and look carefully at what happened. Trace your steps and think what went wrong within the lesson. Unpick it. Once you've unpicked it, go and see the person who's observed you. These are people who are seasoned observers, and they should be measured on their practice, on how they've given you feedback. The feedback needs to be incisive so that you can improve straight away. One of the things that you might want to do is to unpick the lesson. So talk to the children, discuss what happened with their learning. What could you do better? There's nothing wrong with talking to children because they know what makes a good lesson. So unpick it with them and talk to them what you think the next steps are. The other thing is talk to your teaching assistant or talk to anybody else who was in the room. Look back at your plan and identify key points of what went wrong. You might think it went wrong, but there might be still positives. Once you've done that, go and speak to the observer. These are seasoned practitioners who really do know what they're doing. But the fact that you've unpicked it already shows that you are reflective about what has happened in the lesson. Once they've given you the feedback, look and think about what you need to do. There should be short-term feedback and there should be a long-term feedback. Understand what you need to do and implement it carefully. One of the things that is key is how well you take on the feedback. Don't be defensive, really explain what happened and be honest and transparent. If you need help, then tell the person who's observed you what you need help on. Go and watch an outstanding practitioner or a good and better practitioner who can support you. Sit with your mentor or sit with a parallel teacher and look at your planning. Does it make sense? Was there enough in there for the children to have an instructional challenge with their learning? The most important thing is that you don't give up. Every teacher has a bad day or that bad lesson. The key thing is how you turn it around. So the next day, it's important you get up. It's like driving a car or having a car crash. Unfortunately, what you have to do is get back in the car and drive as safely as you can. The same thing with teaching. Every day is a new day. Go in and relook at that lesson plan and adjust it accordingly. You might need to reteach it again. And if you're brave enough, ask the observer to come back in again, or ask your TA to observe you and accept honest feedback. Don't be hard on yourself because this is just one lesson, and now the good thing is people look at teaching over a series of time. The most important thing you can do to yourself is give your confidence back. It happens to the best of us, but the key thing is to get back into that seat and be the driver. Take ownership of your teaching and learning so that you are in control. Just remember, teaching is a craft and it is about practice, practice, practice. Michelangelo took years and years to do the Sistine Chapel, as do concert pianists. So you need to think about your craft and think about how you're going to hone it in order to be the best teacher. The other thing on a long-term level you need to look at is how do the children come into the classroom? Is the transition really fluid? Is there any lesson wastage times? Are books neatly set out and resources set up? Are you well organised? Look at your classroom environment. Is it accessible for everybody to use? When looking at the transition of your pupils, look at whether or not they move carefully and quickly to their seats. Do they get on readily with their work? All those things matter, particularly in an observation. If they're not embedded within the systems of your classroom, then they can go wrong. The other thing what you need to do is look at your environment. Is it bright? Is it stimulating? Has it got working walls in order to support the learner? Also, look at the resources that they might be using. Has every group been catered for? You want every single group to make sure that their needs are matched and that they can accelerate and progress. The other thing is look critically at your books. Are your books exemplar? Do they show high expectations? And is there an ongoing dialogue between you and your pupils? There should be progress in each book, and in every child should know what their next steps are. The other thing that you need to do is really look carefully at your planning and whether that triangulates with your books and what is going in class. See if you know your children. That helps to ensure that you are teaching in a quality first way. Just remember, I know you had an awful lesson observation, but it's only one aspect and it's one lesson observation. You've got to now turn it around and think about the rest of the lessons that you're going to teach. As long as the children are making progress and you have also made sure that every child is succeeding, that is all looked at. School performance is now looked at through a variety of lenses. So it's not just lesson observations, it's looking at evidence in books, it's looking at data. All of those need to triangulate in order to show that you are the kind of teacher that you deserve to be. Observations are just one snapshot of teaching. Don't panic. It's about making sure that you're in it for the long haul. Try to ensure that those children are getting the best of you each and every day. Every teacher has these bad days, and it's how we turn them around. We're in it for the long haul, and it's how you turn things around that will make you the master teacher in the long run. Thank you for listening to me today, and if you want to see more videos like this, please browse down below.